Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the penultimate event as we celebrate our beloved institution's 185th anniversary. Allow me to greet our Chancellor, Dr. Carl James, Pro-Chancellor Dr. Ryland Campbell, Co-Chair of the 185th Anniversary Committee, and distinguished alumni, Mr. Vivian Crawford, our senior management team, all levels of staff, students, alumni, and friends of the Mico. Tonight, we recognize the impact that the Mico continues to have on our past and indeed current students. We embrace our core values of leadership, integrity, excellence in performance, and service to others, which have allowed us to graduate exemplary educators and persons of different professions. The Mico is indeed a unique institution, which has its 185 years of history intertwined with the history of our island home. The Mico was there and influenced every significant historical juncture of this country since 1836. It was there during the emancipation of slavery through apprenticeship to pre-independence, and in 1962 when we achieved our independence. It has continued to positively impact our nation's development to this day. This celebration has given us the opportunity to reflect and to recommit to ensuring that the legacy of the Mico continues as we create, innovate to solve educational challenges that we face and to strategically remain relevant for another 185 years. This art exhibition will acknowledge the role that art education plays in the education system. We are proud to showcase some of our graduates that are creating waves across the region as they impact education and culture. They have nurtured our children and of all ages, and we are aware that the research findings support that the arts being associated with gains in reading, mathematics, cognitive development, critical thinking, and verbal skills. However, not only are our graduates art educators, but they have become artists of repute, using various mediums to tell their stories and to deliver their messages. Although I'm not able to call all by name, I will note that Professor Clinton Hutton uses his deep interest in culture, Africa, and the aesthetics in his paintings and photography. Saheed Cole is an environmentalist sculptor. Tanisha Redley is one of our lecturers here guiding our current students, and Mortimer McPherson is a specialist in wood turning. Our artists have done remarkable work in stoneware, acrylic on canvas, textile, and recycled material, just to name a few. Tonight, we will be exposed to their work, and four of them will be interviewed to share their thoughts on how the Mico impacted their artistic journey. This has been a work of love, and I'd like to thank the team that worked with this event. You will see the virtual catalog, and I invite you to view and also to take note of pieces that are for sale. I encourage you to purchase your favorite either through gifts for others or for your own private collection. Again, let me welcome you to enjoy this evening's event, and I look forward to your continued support to the Mico University College as we continue to do it with our might.
Dr. Carl James, Chancellor, the Mico University College. Dr. Ryland Campbell, Chairman of the Board of Directors, the Mico University College, and other members of the board, including Dr. Asburn Pinnock, President, members and staff of the Mico University College, including Mrs. Sharon Bogues Wolf, co-chairman 180th Anniversary Committee, students, artists of the retrospective exhibition, guests, present and virtual links, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the 185th Anniversary Committee of the Mico University College, it is my privilege, pleasure, and duty as co-chairman of the 185th Anniversary Committee to offer remarks, not past remarks, at this retrospective exhibition by Miconians, and I acknowledge the contribution of Mrs. Sharon Bogues Wolf, co-chairman, and other members of the committee of the anniversary celebrations coordinating this exhibition, the first of its kind in the long history of the Mico. This presentation by our artists is a salute to the intangible heritage of Jamaica, and we commend them for their contribution to nation building. Last Monday, I spoke on a radio program, Hits 92 FM, coordinated by Mrs. Jennifer Small Graham, about the neglect of most of our country's visual arts. And I said the work of our children is at Riverton Dump, gullies all over Jamaica, and in garbage bins because under colonial education, art by students was never encouraged to be framed and hanging on walls. We rather encourage prints of no value of daffodils, bluebells, and ice and snow than our own heritage. I even quoted lines of a poem by Thomas Gray, Elegy in a Country Churchyard, that my mother taught us, her children. Quote, full many a gem of purest ray serene, the dark unfathomed caves of ocean bare. Full many a flower is born to blush unseen and wastes its sweetness on the desert air. The legacy of our art. Children who showed interest in art were usually greeted with the caustic comment, you can't find something sensible to do. Our art movement started only in the 1930s, led by Edna Manley, and you will ask why so late? In enslavement, the visual arts were regarded by the masters as tools for uprisings. Music was encouraged as part of the performing arts because it made work lighter. The National Gallery of Jamaica was established only in 1974 and has in the collection works of art by the Tainos, and you should be aware that Taino carvings of their gods, Birdman and Boinal, were found by surveyors at a cave in Carpenter's Mountain, now southern Manchester, in 1792 and acquired by the British Museum in 1799. Honorable Olivia Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, has begun the process for repatriation of those objects. You, the presenters of this exhibition, we join with you in giving thanks to God for those who made the journey for us. You might not be aware that the works of Edna Manley are in 3 Kingston churches, and in the 1930s, her carving of Christ presented to a church was rejected. It's still intact there. Today, however, Christopher Gonzalez's image in the sanctuary of a St. Andrew church was rejected, and you might know his statue of Bob Marley was rejected. My friend Capo told me he was arrested by the police because of his carvings. They thought he was practicing obia. That collection was acquired by a foreigner, Larry Worth, and by negotiation by the late Most Honorable Edward Siaga, he acquired it for the nation and is now at the National Gallery of Jamaica. You are aware of comments about Laura Facey Cooper's massive sculpture at Emancipation Park. A major breakthrough is with stained glass windows in our churches, and the leading expert is Mrs. Charmaine Bunting Thompson, wife of Bishop Robert Thompson. And to see our country's flora and fauna is a delight. I know Dr. Pinnock and Mrs. Sharon Bogues Wolf will ensure that this is an annual exhibition. And as I have said elsewhere, we should work with infant primary and high schools to ensure that there is an annual exhibition in these schools and the art acquired for homes and public spaces. The Mico has triumphed in its motto, do it with thy might, because the past is history, the future is a mystery, but the present is a gift. That is why it is called a present. And for planet Earth, this is an early Christmas gift. You can open your present and enjoy. Thank you.
Great is your mercy towards me, your loving kindness towards me, your tender mercies I see day after day. Help me sing, forever faithful towards me, and you're always providing for me. Great is your mercy I see day after day. Forever faithful towards me, and you're always providing for me. Great is your mercies I see, and great is your grace, and great is your mercy towards me, your loving kindness towards me, your tender mercies I see day after day. Forever faithful for me, you're always providing, Lord, for me. Great is your mercy towards me, Lord. Great is your grace. Great is your faith.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mico University College. As we meet some of our graduates, some of our alumni who are artists by training, and they were trained here at the Mico University College. Today I have with me Saheed Cole, well-known environmentalist, artist who uses a lot of recyclable material to create his art. He's also a sculptor in his own right. Welcome, Saheed.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Tell me, why did you choose the Mico in the very first place?
At the time, I was struggling as a young man wanting to pursue my art, and I saw the Mico as the most affordable place in Jamaica to actually pursue an artistic career and have a stable income by being a teacher as well. So I think it was the most practical choice over the other alternatives that were there.
You know, Jamaica is known as the poor man's university, and we take pride in that. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Persons
Yes,
from
yes.
humble beginnings
Yes.
have always come to the Mico and have excelled. So tell me, what kind of impact the Mico made on you?
If it wasn't for the Mico, the depth of knowledge that I have in regards to the theory of art and the history of art and how art is done with the formal qualities, elements, and principles, and the conversation around good or bad art. All of those came from my tutelage here, and it is still helping me today in constructing the beautiful works of art. So it has really changed the way I approach my artistic journey. Before I used to draw, did a little painting, and I think I had a natural talent for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was at the Mico that I matured, and I actually came to understand what sculpting is. And right now I'm in that field of being a sculptor. So that's a great benefit that I've gotten from the Mico.
You know that you're one of the few alumni and artists that you have stuff, pieces here on the campus. Tell me a little bit about the story about the piece that's in the quadrangle.
I can tell you, achieving that feat of actually creating sculptures of life size that is outdoor pieces was a test of faith, and came at a cost, because I was so consumed with creating something that would leave an indelible mark that I went larger than the assignment was. I was supposed to create a 10 inches size and I ended up creating something that is 7 feet. But at the time, I was just getting into sculpture, but had an insatiable urge
Mm-hmm.
to do something figurative. But I was studying the linear quality of the muscle fibers in the body and the aging process and how time affects us all. Mm-hmm. So it was a bit of philosophy at the time, and also my research into the physical anatomy that gave birth to Mother of Time, which is her name. Mm-hmm. So you could actually see the muscle fibers, in a dynamic way, because it was a static for me. I wanted some a lot of movement, and I also wanted her to have the symbolic hourglass in her hand to symbolize time. And it was my journey through the Mico, I think, culminated with that piece.
It's a beautiful piece, and we're going to see that this afternoon. And then lastly, what would you'd use a lot of recyclable material. What led you to use that medium as you create?
As a sculptor, material is really the substance of sculpture. The material has to be durable. Based on the project, it either has to be lightweight or extremely heavy, so you're dealing with mass, dealing with linear shell structures. So I was always hunting down for a material that would suit the purposes that I wanted it for. In the case of reusing recycled materials, it was very affordable for me to go and search and scavenge for material, which I started to do at the Mico. A piece called Ironic was a combination of car parts, and then I assembled it and created an artwork. So it's been resourceful, and I think that is the mother of invention. You got to be resourceful. And after leaving the Mico, I went even deeper into creating sculptures that I could manage to move without a crane, and the lightweight materials of plastics and foam and paper became some of the materials I infused into my sculpture, so that I could have sculptures done quickly and have them in various places. I've always loved nature as a farmer. Love farming, love flowers, and I wanted to do something that affected the environment at the same time. Chemistry was my training in high school, so I did my personal experiments in the material composition and qualities and what would I dare, what would buy, and what construction I would get, and from that I came to be using it as a sculptural material. So.
No, that's really great work. I mean, the resources that you were able to come up with which would not have been necessarily expensive.
Yes.
And you're able to create such beautiful pieces of art. Last question.
I also wanted sculptures to, the desire for having a sculpture in every home in Jamaica. It's still a dream of mine, an affordable sculpture. Yes, so everybody could afford a piece that I created, and we have to think about the expense of what it takes to create a sculpture, and that's really what I was working for as well.
Great. Now, tell me, what would you say to a student, an art student, who wants to come to the Mico? 2 quick bits of advice before we finish.
If it is your desire to have greater scope, not just as a fine artist, but also how to pass on the knowledge that you have to others. Pedagogy is important. How do you teach others what you know? I've always been involved in training and working with youths, and I had to draw back to my training at the Mico Teachers College, Teacher University, to actually put together a proper curriculum, put together a proper unit plan, the lesson plans, and to execute it in a proper way, and how to motivate, how to have class control. All of these things makes you a better artist, because we were a part of a social world right now. And your work is exposed through social media, and you're asked at time to express, your concept, your background to your work, and also to help others to do the same. So you're a more rounded artist, I believe, if you go through an institution such as this one, outside of just going straight into being a fine artist or a commercial artist, I would say.
Thank you so much, Saheed. We are just dying to go on a little tour to see some of your sculptures here on the campus. And so it was a wonderful interview, and join us as we walk through some of his work on the university campus. Welcome. Today we're going to continue a series of conversations with alumni who are artists, who are in the creative industries and have done so many things with their lives and their talent. Today I'm going to welcome Nicholas Rose. Nicholas is a 2008 graduate of the Mico University College, and this year received the 185th Anniversary Alumni Award at our recent recognition ceremony. So, welcome, Nicholas.
Thank you for having me.
Great. No.
It's an honor.
Good. Tell me the first thing. Why did you choose the Mico?
I thought it was the best choice for several reasons. I think, and the main one is it was most economical, and it's one of 2 institutions that I could do art, which was my passion. So it was between the Edna Manley and the Mico, and the cost was significantly different. And not only that, I had an aunt, Miss Louise Clark, who was also a Miconian, and 2 cousins. So I said, let me try it out.
Runs in the family.
Yes.
And no regrets, I imagine.
None. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
Okay, having said that, tell me, share with us, how did the Mico impact your approach to art? How you thought about your passion?
Well, I think it affected every area, because I am from a deep rural Trelawney, place named Albertown, all sides. There isn't any gallery. There's no art show. There's nothing pertaining to art. So it was when I went to DeCarteret College in Mandeville where I first experienced art and saw that it was something to be done serious. But then with the Mico, it's where everything now sort of unfold, where I learned of, more of the value, more of the research aspect, which led to where I am now, because I love to research and that was a core thing at the Mico. And not only that, to do things with our might and with that, sort of innate inside of me already to really try as hard as I can, then it just channeled into the art. And I've always balanced art and computer science because I wanted to do both here, but because both of them are double options, I couldn't do the two. So Mr. Pierre chose the art and I just went on with it and no regrets.
Okay. What about how would you're now at JCDC?
Correct.
What do you do at JCDC?
So
Remind us.
I'm the visual arts development specialist.
And how having attended the Mico, how does that impact how you look at art, how you look at what other people are doing?
Well, it goes back to the motto.
Do it with thy might.
Yeah, do it with thy might. I think my journey towards this position and ever since the Mico has always been just doing my very best. So now, being at the JCDC, my outlook on every aspect of development is to do it at my best and to bring the talents across Jamaica to the highest level, to the Olympics, the Grammys of art. That is my aim. So the Mico has really created that path where I'm so focused on just achieving the best, self-actualizing and just helping others to achieve their best.
What medium do you use?
The medium depends on the project. So I use pretty much every medium I can get my hand on and intend to get my hand on. It all has to do with the project, the purpose of the project, and the what I'm trying to bring forward. So it has a lot to do, because art is not just about the aesthetics, but more about the message, the meaning, and sometimes the message is to evoke certain feeling and to, create certain discussions, and that's what sort of directs my medium. Sometimes I'll use clay, sometimes it will be just paper being torn, being ripped. It could be on canvas, but then sometimes I may sew into the canvas. It all has to do with, the message I'm trying to bring across.
If you had the opportunity, and I'm sure you do in your present job, to impart words of advice, what are the two, what's advice would you give to students or young people who are thinking of leaving school, going into art, to let them feel as if, yes, I can do this?
Yeah, well, two?
Yeah, you can give me more, but two is good.
The first one is to go to the Mico. I tell all of my students, and with all respect for all other institutions, because I've been to others, but the Mico for me was the foundation, and it was a foundation of family, of bonding, and of a sort of prestige and pride. And I think for any young people, they need to have that feeling of belonging and to be a part of a family. A lot of them leaving high school are very uncertain of what their identity. And I know at the Mico there were so many courses. Emergent teacher, Miss Reed, she held us together to know yourself, So even when you're thinking all sort of thoughts, the Mico always just bring you back to that positive and uplifting path. And then I think just all of the other courses just help me to be rounded. And I want to advise young people that to excel, you need to be rounded. You need to be a complete package. It can't be just the academics and then the social part is not there. The cultural awareness is not there. So I think the Mico brings that to the fore. So come to the Mico. And then the next thing is really, and the motto to do whatever you're gonna do with your might. And I think it's, to me, and this is my personal sort of position, is that when you do your very best or try to accomplish greatness, it brings you closer to God. And I think even the Renaissance art movement, which we're so familiar with the Da Vinci and these higher Renaissance artists, they wanted to accomplish perfection and greatness because that is what God is. God is perfect. So if we try to be the best person we can be, then there is a close relationship, and that is the part I've chosen. And I thank God for the talent and for Mico and for family and community and everyone who has helped me along the journey.
The Mico University College has produced a number of talented practitioners and visual arts educators. Let us look at some of the works created by these distinguished Miconians. Kirkland Clark is from the graduating class of 2004. His artwork is guided or driven by his eclectic taste for the arts. Mr. Clark's artworks display a strong appreciation of the pulchritude of life, while others may be thought-provoking, analyzing and questioning social issues, cultural practices, and world affairs. Garrett Campbell is from the graduating class of 2008. He is an educator whose love for art was developed at a tender age. From a frame canvas, he creates his own world with meaningful concepts and creativity that will attract the viewer's interest. Mr. Campbell uses themes that are mostly culture-oriented, which connect to things around him in a diverse way. Shanae Sawyers Haylett is from the graduating class of 2004. She is an artist and lecturer whose passion for art started at age 5. She has received numerous certificates of merit from the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission's annual Festival of Arts competition for her paintings and drawings. In 2012, she hosted her first solo exhibition under the theme Expressions of Nature's Beauty. David E. Wilson is from the graduating class of 1994. He is an artist and educator who approaches his paintings from a scholarly platform. Mr. David's preferred medium is oil on canvas. He loves to linger in the satisfaction he gets from the slow drying paint and the vacillating feel of the brush as it caresses the canvas. Tanisha Redley is from the graduating class of 2004. She is an artist, lecturer, and entrepreneur. She believes that her artwork should impact people from different cultural backgrounds. Miss Redley utilizes a wide array of media and techniques. As an educator, she promotes cultural awareness, critical thinking, and the understanding of visual arts through creative instructions. Ewan Peart is from the graduating class of 1977. He was the former head of the art department at the then Mico Teachers College. He is an artist and entrepreneur. As an artist, he tries to develop paintings that speak to both himself and to others about the natural beauty as well as other issues of personal interests that exist in the society. Mr. Peart creates art not only for himself but for people who are impacted in some way by aesthetic and cultural events. Caroline Miles is from the graduating class of 2000. She is an artist, educator, and entrepreneur who is involved in numerous outreach activities and youth programs throughout the parish of St. Thomas. She has made an indelible mark in the area of visual arts in Jamaica and the wider world. Professor Clinton Hutton is from the graduating class of 1976. He is an award-winning researcher and author with a distinguished record of research and publications, including 4 books, numerous book chapters, and journal articles. Professor Hutton has participated in some 40 individual and group exhibitions. He is a distinguished painter whose works are electric and exceptionally detailed. Rodney Lewis is from the graduating class of 2002. He is an artist, educator, and entrepreneur. Mr. Lewis believes that art transcends the limitations of time and logic that brings him to a place of liberty through expression. O'Dane Coley is from the graduating class of 2015. He is an artist, educator, and entrepreneur. Mr. Coley's work explores the relationship between being black and emotional. He believes that rich and passionate are two words that are used to describe the emotions of black individuals. He strives to showcase the power of black people throughout his craft. Shavon Edwards is from the graduating class of 2015. He is a lecturer, entrepreneur, and YouTuber. Shavon fell in love with art during his early childhood. As an educator, he believes he has a duty to influence young minds and help his students in their artistic development to become better than himself.
Hello and welcome to the Mico University College. We're having a series of conversations with graduates, alumni of the institution who are artists. And I'm going to welcome today Miss Tanisha Redley. Tanisha is a 204 graduate of the Mico. She's also a lecturer here, and she's an artist practitioner and JCDC recipient. Welcome, Tanisha.
Thank you.
Tell me, why did you choose the Mico in the first place back when you were a student?
Well, finishing high school, I did apply to the Mico Youth College at that time and to Edamandley. And so I was a little confused which one to choose. And of course, having teachers at high school who were Miconians, they were very influential to say to me, go to the Mico. When I compare both, I realize that I will get a wide range of training, not just specializing in one area, but I will be exposed to a variety of expressive forms. And I said to myself, I think this is a place for me to be.
No regrets.
And there's no regrets.
Excellent. Now, you've graduated, you've left. What are some of the things that you learned here which you have carried with you as you continue your career as an artist? And also, tell me a little bit about, as a lecturer here at Mico, what are some of the ideas that you share with your students?
Leaving the Mico, I can say that Mico is one of the places where you will be rounded. You're not just being trained for the classroom, but the personal development, just making you as the whole person. Yes, you will get that. And of course, this is something that I carry along with me, to be a professional, to be the best, as we say that we do it with our might. And this is something that I've learned here at the Mico. And of course, I continue to make that as a part of my motto, to say that whatever I'm doing, I must put out that effort in doing it with all my might. Now, this same principle is also instilled in my students. And so as we prepare them for the classroom, we are not just preparing them for the classroom, but for a life learning experience and for them to pass on that same knowledge to their students. So the skill area, the balance between the theory and the practice, of course, they are well prepared for that.
Excellent. And do you find that your students, they soak up all these ideas?
They do. And seeing that they have lecturers also, we are not just teaching in the classroom, but we are able to show them to say that we are actually practicing as well. And so they are influenced by that to say that, Miss, I want to try that. And they are now exposed because art is so important. We talk about STEAM, we talk about STEM, and they see the importance of art in society. Why is it that we need art here? And if you look around, and in every subject area, we can integrate visual arts. So it's just for person to recognize and appreciate how important art is in the development of a child.
Now, let me get a little personal. Tell me a little bit about what moves you to create your pieces. I know we're going to look at one a little bit later, but tell me, what moves you?
Various things. Most of my work speaks about a cultural context. Some maybe social, a little political sometimes, but mostly promoting the Caribbean culture. I have done pieces in Jamaica and also in Turks and Caicos. So I have lived in Turks and Caicos about for 4 years. And so while being there, I realized that some persons were not so exposed to visual arts. They don't have a lot of artists in that area. And so I used that to create even competition for students to enter, for them to showcase the work. And so I have murals at hotels and other places where I can always go back and visit. And I said, that's one of my pieces.
Well, I tell you, we need to go to the Turks and Caicos Islands to see some of your work. And thank you so much, Tanisha, for sharing with us your passion for art and how you impact our students here at the Mico. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Nicholas Rose is from the graduating class of 2008. He is an artist, educator, and entrepreneur. Mr. Rose has been featured in the Jamaica Biennial Art Show in 2014 and 2017 at the National Gallery of Jamaica. His oeuvre is consistent of mainly drawings, paintings, and mixed media, which is representational of his culture. Dolores Badre Singh Lindsay is from the graduating class of 1977. Dolores works with simple materials like paper and coloring pencils. As an art educator, she wants her audience to realize that the beauty and expression trapped inside our souls can be expressed externally with ordinary tools. Rayon Griffiths is from the graduating class of 2012. He is an artist, educator, and YouTuber. Through his artworks, he aims to highlight aspects of the Jamaican culture and heritage, often through reflecting on outstanding contributions made by the people and the significance of buildings or sites to Jamaica's history and culture. Sean Lawton is an artist, education officer, and entrepreneur who believes that his works are the vehicle through which his creative convictions, character, and thinking are expressed. Mr. Lawton works serve the purpose of social commentary, addressing the ills and pleasantries of society. Nosborne Lee is from the graduating class of 1987. He is an educator and entrepreneur. Mr. Lee has held several solo exhibitions and achieved several awards. He is known for creating sculptures out of nuts, bolts, old cars and bicycle parts, and other discarded materials. He believes that the fostering of unity starts with the individual member coming together in sowing spiritual growth. Nadine Clementson is from the graduating class of 2014. She is an artist and lecturer who believes that art is not just a subject but a way of life. Miss Clementson is what you call a dabbler, as she tries to do much of everything. She is a receiver of 2 JCDC certifications of merits for 2 entrance pieces submitted in 2014. Saheed Cole is from the graduating class of 2000. He is an inventor, painter, sculptor, ceramist, and founder of 360 Recycle Manufacturing. His company reuses packaging foam, paper, and polyethylene terephthalate plastic to create garden accessories like flower pots and garden sculptures. They create solutions in the home and garden by manufacturing artistic and innovative products from recycled materials. Talbert Taylor is from the graduating class of 2020. He is an artist, educator, and entrepreneur. He often promotes cultural awareness and the understanding of ideas that would cause you to think critically of his themes, works, and the cultural space of Jamaica. Mr. Taylor's artworks are a part of the collections of artworks in the Ministry of Local Government Offices in Jamaica, as well as those of prominent local families. Mortimer McPherson is from the graduating class of 1987. He is an artist, educator, and entrepreneur. He creates art with any medium at his disposal and that which best fits the subject, whether it be pencil, pastel, charcoal, acrylic, oils, or even wood and glass carving. As a fine artist, Mr. Macpherson renders each moment, each person, each object with love and attention, making the insignificant significant. Dr. Verona Barnes is from the graduating class of 1979. She is an artist, lecturer, examiner, and manager. She believes art allows us to get close to our humanity, thus empowering the artist to interrogate and address broad issues that affect human beings. Dr. Barnes's fascination with crocheting and weaving allows her to explore in depth the nature of this craft. Melva York is from the graduating class of 2010. She is an artist and educator. Miss York is influenced by field trips across Jamaica that provides picturesque sceneries which she incorporates in her artworks. She enjoys the aquatic sceneries most as it provides her with content for seascapes. Susan Rubin is from the graduating class of 1979. She is an artist and educator who believes that the duty of an artist is to inspire, create, recreate, and allow the audience to experience exciting visual pleasures. Miss Rubin believes that working with fibers gives her a relaxing and exhilarating feeling as she watches each row of thread builds up to form an image. John Celine Oliphant is from the graduating class of 2002. He is an artist, educator, and entrepreneur. John Celine developed a passion for visual arts since preparatory school. His personal philosophy states, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Mr. Oliphant believes we all have talents and gifts that are needed to inspire others to use them to the glory of God.
We are continuing our conversation with our alumni, our artists, as we go along for our art exhibition this afternoon. I welcome Mr. Mortimer Macpherson, our graduate of 1987, and who has branched off into all different types of areas, but all within that same creative industries. Welcome, Mortimer.
Thank you.
Now, why did you choose the Mico? Tell me that, and then I'm going to go back a little bit.
Didn't choose it. When you grow up in an environment where your uncle and your elder brothers have been Miconians, it becomes easier for you to transition into the system. There was really no choice. My uncle with whom I grew up was a Miconian. My eldest brother Donald was a Miconian. My other brother Ray was a Miconian. And so my mother just said, well, go to Mico. That was it.
But I came to Mico not to do art either. I came to Mico to do industrial arts. Because I was in the woodwork and metalwork and electrical. That was my era. That's what I came to do. Providence spoke otherwise.
And how did you transition before you tell me all of that, and at the end I'm going to tell them what you do. But how did you make that transition?
Interestingly, I didn't transition either. I don't know if I transitioned. I think I ended up in history and social science, but spent most of my life in the art room, so much so that art became my very existence. So I lived in the art room, spent my time in the art room, gave Mr. Dwayne all the problems that he could get. Lived on Mills Hall, made a mess every day, chipping off plaster, creating noise in the nights, and just doing art. That was the life. That was what Mico was. That was what Mico was in those days. Back in those days. What is happening, I'm not so certain. But back in those days, it became a lifestyle. Art was a lifestyle.
It was your passion. It must have been even more than your passion.
Yeah, it's a passion, more than a passion. It's just me. I can't do anything else, really.
All right. So coming to the Mico, because you had to come to the Mico, almost, because your entire family are Miconians. How did attending this institution affect your approach to art?
Let's be very clear about Mico. Mico is a unique institution. Unique, not because of its historical context, but unique in the, what I call its presence in regards to how it affects society. Mico believes in optimal roundedness. And I always remember Mr. Shirley saying, you must be optimally rounded. Frankly speaking, I remember having a conversation with a lecturer, and she asked a question, during a class time, why are you in the Mico? And my answer was, because I'm using Mico as a stepping stone to further progress. And she was very upset. I don't think she understood that when you come to Mico, and this is what I want to emphasize, unlike any other institution, you are able to fit into any realm, sphere of society. Mico gives you that edge. And so there is no questioning the efficacy of the program that Mico had back in the days. And I think should still have. And so when you pass through these walls, you move from being a child to being an adult, from being a boy to being a man, from not just being a male, but a man now, not just being a female, but a woman. And that makes a difference in how you transition into society. Mico has that hold on you also, that forces you to want to be a part of the Mico no matter what the circumstances are.
It really is a transformational experience.
It's a transformational experience. It really makes the man. Mico makes the man.
And clearly it had quite a substantial impact on the art and what you produce.
Absolutely. Because let me tell you something. Because of the guidance towards being optimally rounded, you find yourself engaging much deeper in the arts, much deeper into all the aesthetics, so as to ensure you can impact society. You delve into deeper practice, you delve into greater levels of philosophy, you delve into understanding the science and the math of it, you delve into understanding the cultural expressions and the thinking, you delve into understanding the needs of society, and that becomes the core of your very existence within the art when you come through the Mico. And that is where youngsters today need to understand that it's more than just being able to take a pencil and make a mark or a brush and dab a color. It's much, much deeper than that.
One of the things I know you do is wood turning. Tell me a little bit how you got into that.
I'm a woodworker. It's interesting that I'm an artist and a woodworker. Did woodwork almost all my life. But wood turning is an art form. Not very well known in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, I'm the first person and only person in Jamaica to have ever exhibited in the JCDC Visual Arts Exhibition wood turning pieces. And I'm currently planning a wood turning exhibition that will never first be seen in Jamaica. We have never had it. But being an artist allows you to transition fairly easily into designing and woodwork. And then therefore wood turning is a part of woodwork. More than turning chair pins and spindles for balustrades. It's a serious art form that rivals ceramics. As a matter of fact, I think the Woodturners are greater than the ceramists.
You know, that's a debate we're not going to get to on this program.
But it's interesting though, because it's a fascinating era. It captures your mind, your focus, and when you watch a wood being shaped into anything you want it to shape into, spinning at 17, 2,000, 3,000 RPM, a piece of wood on a lathe, it does something. The adrenaline rush is there on you.
It's beautiful.
Let me tell you, it's fascinating.
Great.
It's fascinating.
We're going to wrap up. You're going to show us some pieces eventually. We're going to look at something. And then just a last quick thing. What advice would you give to a young artist?
Many. And the first thing is study, work, be somebody who not just exist, but touch lives. The other thing is to ensure that find something that you love, make it a passion, and work hard at it. And the advice I want to give young people is this: there's no shortcut to success. There is no quick fix to getting it right. There is no society owe you a favor, but you owe yourself a depth of favor to ensure you become and be more than a light, so that those who come behind you will find you faithful.
Thank you so much, Mortimer, and that's good words of advice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
One, two, three, four. When the rain falls down like a waterfall on your heart, when the moon and the sun does not warm your face anymore, and you feel like hope is gone, there's no shelter from the storm, you're all alone. Yeah.